Okay, welcome to Tanya, Learning Tanya, Lessons in Tanya weekly. We're working always to go further in Tanya. We have a beautiful chavrusa that we dedicate this learning, that we'll get back to it in the right time. We're holding currently in chapter 19, Gimel Shvat, and we're going to go over again an audio which I recorded yesterday, and it just miraculously just disappeared off my phone. And as much as I tried, I even tried to download an app that would bring back lost files, like Shabak style or Mossad, try to bring back lost data. And I did the search, and it brought back some old funny phone numbers and pictures that I didn't need either of them. And then when I saw that if you want to download them back to your phone or device, you have to start paying some membership or something, or some sort of fee, and I was just like, all right, that's just getting too much. Plus, I didn't even find the audio, so it just wasn't meant to be. Yesterday's recording, I did the second part yesterday, which I will attach to this, and the last part of this session. The first part, we were in chapter 20 in Tanya, and I'm gonna try do tshuva on yesterday's learning, because if it wasn't meant to be recorded, like this never happened before. It just disappeared off my phone. So then obviously it wasn't good enough, like to be for posterity and to be recorded and shared around and people given time to listen to. So we're going to go into the chapter 20, which is, we're going to start off this time, we didn't do this, with Shmuel Diamond's summary from Tanya Summary, based on his hard work. The first two commandments, that's the real kunz of it. We mentioned the Kutamaran yesterday. So in a way, I suppose it's good that the Seder changed, that now we've learned Kutamaran about the fact that before Torah, before Matan Torah and after Matan Torah, is two different realities, the Anochi, how that changed everything. Hashem wants to fill us up with shefa, fill our mouths up with blessings, and that's the advantage of after receiving the Torah. Because what happened, it says in here, the first two commandments were given, Anochi Hashem, the first divine unity, the first commandment, the commandment to believe in God, contains all the positive commandments in the Torah. And Lecha, the second commandment, the warning against idolatry, contains all the negative commandments in the Torah. Actus Hashem, the oneness of Hashem. Hashem's unity has not been faked by creation at all. He is the same now as it was before creation. And the nullification of speech to the speaker. So that was how we ended yesterday. And it's a deep concept. Creation is a product of divine speech and the breath of his mouth. Four-step nullification. One word is nullified quantitatively in relation to the power of speech. The power of speech is nullified somewhat qualitatively in relation to the power of thought, which is the source of speech. The power of thought is nullified qualitatively in relation to the motions of the soul that are without letters. The motion of the soul are nullified qualitatively in relation to the intellect of the soul, source of emotions. So that's Shmuel Diamond's summary, beautiful summary of chapter 20. And we start to realize that these are deep concepts. And we were talking about in the previous chapter about how the Torah is very near to us, and the idea of Chochmah, and this brings out this Nefesh Alakis. And we're page 217 in 272 in the Lessons Tanya, and we're just reading the intro there. You can read it yourself. But the idea that the Jew is to feel that sins tear him away from Hashem. He would never sin. That's where we're ending off. This concept of Ruch Shtus that takes us away, this delusion, and brings us back to the concepts in the Baal Shem Tov, the Masorah. As we said, the Baal Tanya, the Alter Rebbe, is a Talmud of the Maggid Mezrich, and his Rebbe was the Baal Shem Tov, and this is the Chachma Bin Adas. This is the Masorah of the Tikkun of the intellect, the Oris from Mashiach, the light of Mashiach. I was speaking to a psychologist last night, Rav Chaim Shlomo, a.k.a. Peter Shtalsky, and he was saying this concept that the more he learns Chassidus, the more he learns Tanya, the more we do the class of Rav Shlomo Katz in Tikkun Medina, rectification of the Medina of this nation. The more we learn this, the more he gets into the Kabbalistic concepts of Chachma Bin Adas and Tanya, the more he sees that everything that was worthy and good that he's been teaching in his therapy is all contained in these holy svarim. And you have to realize this is very deep and important, and it is Mashiach way of thinking, the way we should ideally think of the positivity bias that the Rebbe brought down all the way down to our generation, that we need to focus on the panemius, on the good. And therefore, Jews' inherent love of God is aroused, even the most hardened sinner. So once it's tested in Emuna, so it awakens their nefesh. That's what we were learning in yesterday, the beginning of the week. We ended off with a Perek 19, chapter 19. That's where we covered this concept. The power of self-sacrifice, says the Alter Rebbe, can enable a Jew to refrain from every transgression to fulfill all the commandments. But in fact, only a clear challenge to one's Emuna through avodah zarah arouses, activates one's hidden love. How can this love serve to motivate one's observance of all the commandments? So now we get to Shmuel Diamond's summary, and the Tanya itself begins to provide the answer in this chapter, explaining the relationship of all the positive commandments. The fact that I am Hashem, your Lord, your God, and you shouldn't have any other gods. This is the essence of Al Kabalat HaTorah and Esidibra, and all the mitzvahs, Asa mitzvahs, Lord Tasei, Abbas Hashem, Yos Hashem. This is the shorish, the root level. It all goes back to the first two commandments. V'hinei medu zois l'kom ki mitzvahs azaras avodah zarah shnei debaris v'shonim anochi v'lo yelecha im klayas kol Torah kula, says the Tanya, chapter 20. As one of the positive commandments to believe in God's unity, the admonition concerning idolatry. I am God and you have no other gods comprise the entire Torah. Ki dom anochi kol remach mitzvahs aseh. And the word Anochi is including all the 248 mitzvahs, I say, the positive mitzvahs. Yoel Lecha is call out all the negative mitzvahs, Lord Tasei. Once again, the fact that we're repeating this and learning again, I might even end up doing it a third time with my wonderful chavrusa. The concept is we get the opportunity to really internalize deep this truth that we heard from Hashem. Every soul of Am Yisrael was at Har Sinai at the time of Kabalat HaTorah, and we experienced. We heard only these two commandments, that I am Hashem your God, you took care of Messiah to be your God. And you should not have any other gods. You heard this directly from Hashem. Our souls flew out, etc. The whole experience was complete butless to Hashem. But there's some total of the whole Torah, these two Pesukim. Thus we heard the entire Torah from Hashem himself through these two first commandments. So everything comes down to the shorish, the root, the panemius, the inner depths of two commandments of Hashem. To Anochi, to have Emuna on Hashem, and Hashem Echad. That's like the Shema Yisrael, Hashem Echad, Hashem Echad. If you look at the Yishalmi on the Shema, it's connected to Shema Yisrael. Hashem Elokeinu is Anochi, Hashem Echad Lu Yelecha. So within every time we say Shema, we're connecting into the first Esidibus. That's why the Shema is so fundamental. The Amak Shemaim has within it the whole Torah, the whole panemius of the mitzvahs, the mitzvahs, Lord Tasei, Hashem, Yos Hashem. Everything we're learning is contained within the first passage of Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Just one love is motivating him to obey these two commandments, even at the expense of his life, but also to serve motivate him to observe all the commandments. How this concept requires further clarification. Why should all the precepts be considered as affirmations of God unity? And why should all the prohibitions be manifestation of not doing avodah zarah? Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's very this is really the Baal Shem Tov's, like how he was miyachid everything into that simple understanding, Hashem Echad and not Hashem Acher. Hashem should be one. And for the Lecha Tova, Rabbi Nachman brings down, and not Hashem Acher. Because you're tuned into that's what we just learned with Rav Shlomo, the idea of Samech B'Helko, is tuning into what we do have. The Lecha Tova, the Panemius, how Hashem is Echad. And this could be a big challenge, especially when around you people are suffering and they're seeing all the things they're not having, especially in our generation. We have to constantly remind ourselves, well, what do I have? What is there in front of me? What mitzvahs aseh do I have? What mitzvahs Lord Tasei? What Nekuda Tova? What godliness is in my life? What blessings do I have? This is so fundamental for Simcha and Slacha. The Chilta illustrated this idea of a parable of a king who entered the land, who was requested by the public to provide them with a system of laws. So the king replied, "First accept me as your king. Afterwards I will issue my decrees." In the same way, belief in the one Hashem constitutes the foundation on which all the other commands are built. But why should the two commands of God's unity be considered the sum total of the entire Torah, all the other commands being merely an extension of them? Next, based on a deeper understanding, the concept of the unity of Hashem's unity means that there is only one creator, but that not only that there is one creator, but that God is the only existing being. I was just learning that in Derech Mitzvah with David Jerome. Check out his Tanya shir, very good. We put the link in the last few classes. All existence is absolutely nullified before him and completely one with him. And that's what we're learning again and again in this mitzvahs of Emuna. Emuna and Akus. Therefore, one acts in defiance of God's will as expressed in the commandments. He sets himself apart from Hashem as though he were a separate, independent entity, which is not true. But that's the yeshus. That's the big mistake that a person can make. This constitutes the denial of Hashem's unity, and as transgressors ever considered an idolater. And this is the ultimate explanation. So it's a very subtle thing, because what it's showing you that on the most true level, if Hashem Echad, so anything that makes you separate, makes you think that I'm my own player, I'm running things, I'm my own boss, and I need Hashem, God forbid. On any subtle level, this is us taking us away from the true reality of Hashem Echad. In order to elucidate this matter, we must first briefly speak of the idea that the essence of unity of God, who is called one and unique. Yeah. Minim, and we learned this yesterday, and we're repeating it now because once again, audio Menashamayim. As much as I try, I really try. I mean, maybe Shabbat, if they're listening, they can help me find the audio, and we can upload it together with this one. You can compare the two. Be good times. But the point is that Kol Minim, you have to believe that was meant to be there. I was never having that audio, and we have Rosh Hashanah Kippur, everything was decided, and we have that special tefillah in the tefillah of Rosh Hashanah Kippur of Kol Minim, Shu Levado, Hu Kamoshi, Kodim, Nivra, Olam Mamish, all that believe that he is one alone. Exactly as it was before the world was created, and he was obviously alone. So nothing did not come into being. So now, after creation, nothing exists apart from him. This is Kol Minim. You have to believe there's nothing but Hashem all the time before and after creation and during creation. We say this every morning, Shachris, Atahu min shenivra chili, and it says, as written in the prayer book, you are he who was before the world was created, and you are he who is since the world was created. So the passage is only that God is eternal without being an end. It could have been stated simply, you were before the world was created. Why the circumlocution of you are he who before the world was created? And this is the concept that Hashem never changes. I am Hashem, I'm not changed since creation. God is still one despite the presence of myriad beings, as Al Tobi goes on to explain. Ki olam hazeh chen kol olam hasadionim eina polim shum sheni b'achtoso yisbrach b'Ibrahim ma'in leish. Which is funny, it's Osius Avram. But the point is that when Hashem created, likewise, all the Supreme Ones did not affect any change by them being created out of a state of nothingness. Remember we've been learning from the Samech Tzedek that Hashem is a true Yesh, he's a true creation, he's a true thing, existence, and we're the true Ayin, we're the true nothing. Our whole Mitzvah comes from Anachnu Ma, from Bittul. Shkamo Shahayahu Levado Hu Yochid Miyuchad Kodem Abraham. Kain Hu Levado Hu Yochid Miyuchad Achad Shabram. V'shem Dekula Kaime Kula Chashiv Kain Ve'efes Mamish. Kain Ve'efes Mamish. Just as God was alone, single unique before they were created, so it is alone, single unique after created them. How can it be so when all the creatures exist beside him? Yet it is because all is not beside him, is an absolutely non-existence. So the Rebbe goes on now to explain this. And I think this is what we then did yesterday in the second part. I'm just going to double check. So we went through 6 of Shvat, went to the Chitas, and we went weiter. And I'll just read, just go a little bit weiter, just in case. And all the upper and lower worlds have nothing in life and existence, sustain them so they do not revert to nothing and naught, as before creation. So look, in the merit of this learning, we're tuning into the concept that the breath of his mouth, that is what is clothing this world. That's what giving existence to this world consistently. That he never left the creation, the creative power is constant. And constantly, Asamatavashis Hashem Tamid, Hashem is all the time creating our reality in front of us. And we have to realize that, and then we get into this idea of the voice. That's what we spoke about yesterday, is deep concepts. But the Nakuda is that we just tune in to the reality in a deep way, thanks to the Balaten, start thinking the true way of creation. It's a Mashiach way of thinking, it's the truth, Einon Mavado, and it will be the ultimate nechama, because then we realize how much we're in a relationship with Hashem, how intrinsic it is to our creation to be developing that relationship, because it's everything. And then you can tie it in even to the shir we had about Eretz Yisrael and Shlomo Katz's shir this morning, and the idea that this intimacy goes all the way through to Shalom Bayis, to Shalom in Eretz Yisrael, that we have to appreciate every single bit of land, every little bit of gift that we get from Hashem. And with that, we should be blessed a beautiful rest of the day. We should have Shefa and Bracha. Looking forward to join my Chavrusa and continue listening as we can carry on the second part of this learning of Perek 20. And please God, we'll continue with renewed strength, constantly, just like Hashem's renewing creation. We have to renew our strength in learning and getting closer to our Creator. And with that, we'll be blessed with everything good, with the most important thing of the Vekas to Hashem Yisbarach and seeing the full gallery with Mashiach Sekena and Binyan Bar Shlishim Amen. Okay, so we're back. So we're going to do another 5 minutes just after doing the Real Kindness podcast episode. It's good flow. Thank God. We need to do some editing at some point and make sure everything looks the best. But the main thing is the intent is there. Shout out also to Nuriel. I don't know if you guys ever listened to Nuriel, great band, one of the many bands, Unity projects that we're busy with, Unity bookings, Unity marketing, my own personal work and projects is promoting people of talent, trying to get more events set up. We have one here, please go with Eretz Safar. And it's going to be amazing with Rav Shlomo Katz and with Moshe Gerst and many other special guests, because Yosef Daniel, music and everything. The idea is to live with Mesiras Nefesh and please God bring out that godly spark in everything we're doing. So we mentioned the whole idea of Kol Ma'aminim, Hu Levado, to like internalize this truth that Mitzvah Aseh, Mitzvah Lo Taseh is built off the Avos Hashem and Yos Hashem of Anochi Hashem Lecha and Lo Yeh Lecha, the first two Esidibris which we heard from the mouth of Hashem. We have it intrinsic in every soul, every Yiddish soul, every neshama, and the fact that Kodesh Baruch Hu Lo Shanisi does not change. It's eternal. Hashem, we're connecting into His oneness, and He's the true Yesh, and we're the true Ayin. And to tune into this, we're learning in Perek Esrim, chapter 20, and we're going right to page 276, Lessons in Tanya, that all the creation came out throughout the word of Hashem. As we see, which man, one word, has no value whatever next to who? To his power of speech, as the capacity of the lamb to go on speaking endlessly. Even less compared to one's power of thought, the source of speech, and next to the soul itself, which derives both thoughts and speech, one word from it, many words, is certainly non-entity. How much so in comparison to Hashem, who's infinite, His word, which represents creative and imaginative powers, as is totally non-existent. Ki his havas, kol alamas, elyonim, tachtonim, mayin leish, chayusim, v'kaimim, shelo yachzu liyos, ein v'efes kashaya. The coming into being of all the upper and lower worlds out of nothingness in their life and their existence, the force which sustains them so they do not revert to nothing and naught as they were before they were created. Einan ella Dava Hashem Ruach Pir Yisbarach Malbush Behem. It is nothing in the word of Hashem, the breath of His mouth is closed in these worlds. Mashu Kamosh Nefesh Adam Shnimbaba Divar Achad. The soul of the human, when a man utters the word, this single word is absolute nothing, even when compared Shadibo Lilvado Klo Mamish Afila Gabi Kos Nefesh Medaba Beres, and to the articulate power of speech as a whole. Shu Bechinas Lavush Hamsoy Shaloh Koach Ediba Shaloh, which is the soul's middle garment, organ expression, is the faculty of speech. Wow. Like these concepts, like we're seeing, and also Shaykh Emuna, it sort of breaks our mind, opens up our soul to the depth, the infinite nature of everything, especially when we're discussing Hashem and the levels. Since the faculty cannot produce an infinite number of words. Yeah, so we're saying in actual paths there limits the number of words one can speak. That's only because physical organs involved in speech have limited functionality. The soul capacity of speech is limitless. Surely then this word has no value when compared to the soul's innermost garment, namely the faculty of machshava, which is the source of speech, thought, which is the source of speech and its life force. Ein tzarich lomer legabi mos asumus nefesh shehen eser b'chinosea now hachma bina das v'chulu. Concerning this word is not when compared with the essence entity as composed of the garments of the soul. These being the 10 attributes mentioned above. Hachma bina das. Chabad shem nimshach osis u'mashavazu mabush b'diva zeh kushmedaber, which are derived the letters of thought that are clothed in one's speech when it is uttered. Since all of thoughts are either an intellectual and an emotional nature, they derive from the soul's intelligence or emotional faculties when one speaks. Their thoughts ascend to a lower level. For thought, like speech, consists of letters, except that the letters of thought are more spiritual and refined. Thus, thought and speech share a common characteristic. Okay, wow, this is deep. I think we're going to pause at the 13th of Shvat today. We realize that by learning Tanya, we're tuning into the panemius of what it means to be a Jew, an active Jew in mitzvahs aseh, mitzvahs lo taseh, to understand the levushim of the soul, the machshava diba ma'aseh, tuning into the Chochmah Bina Das, tuning into the Shorish of everything we're doing, coming from the Sedibris, from the Gilui of Har Sinai, this certain revelation that we all need to awaken our souls in and give ourselves ability to perform the way Hashem would want us to, and wants us to, and appreciates us, especially in this time of Tafshin Pei Daled of 2024, 5784, when we're in a time where there's a lot of distractions and externalization of these concepts, to start to go more inner, more panemi, more inner understandings of the way the soul works, the way the human reality is formed, and to give it credit, that truth of soul, and not to allow ourselves to become attached to external realities of life. So while we have a minute more, put a little bit of Nuri on, and if it will come out in the recording, enter a little bit into the beauty of soul, beauty of soul, beauty of who we are as a people. There's such creative energy. In some ways it says more than all the words. The power of song, the power of the soul expressing itself in this world of creativity. The floss of boira. But it's only getting lower, like a fire burning up. So beautiful. In a well of living water. I'm going to invite Tanya. Please go with David. Good news for Christ. And there's a rainbow in the garden. And yourself for the humanity, for the soul level to be revealed more and more. The path of the soul, the eternity of the soul, united souls, soulmates, Avusas, Rabbi Talmud, Shpocha, family, community, Kahal, Kahila, Chal Yisrael, united soul, humanity. We want a more elevated way of being. The soul from Elikus. To heal all the hatred and pain created in Golis and exile. And Yeshus, what it's led to. Just serious nafkamina in history. To bring out more and more selflessness, more bitter to Hashem. Bitter to the mitzvahs, bitter to the Gilui of Hashem Avah. And Lord should bless with good news. His God will be dancing. Mashiach Sekenu. Check out the sun in Europe. Visions of water. Chochmah is connected to water. Oh. Beautiful. 26 where all is love. Water heavy on my lungs. 30 coming up for air. 40 nothing to declare. And at 50 we're reborn. Until the buildings are golden, I raise my eyes to the sky. What a song. You have to go watch it and listen. Oh, so the guy, the singer's just in the other room. And Shur David and Khan. Senator Matthias should be blessed. The Shani Simchas, the bris on Friday was out this world. Only Simchas. And Besoros Tovus. Amen.